The past doesn't disappear. It lingers in your preferences, in your fears, in the people you chase and the ones you avoid. It echoes through your reactions. It whispers through your silence, and it screams in your triggers. You are told to forget, to push forward, to prove yourself, to drown the ache in achievements, affirmations, or spiritual overcompensation. But what you ignore doesn't vanish. It turns into your shadow, and the shadow doesn't wait patiently. It acts without permission. It decides who you trust, who you love, who you run from. It hijacks your peace not out of malice, but out of protection. It thinks it's saving you. The past isn't dead. It's alive in the way your voice shakes when you try to speak your truth, in the way you overcompensate just to feel seen, in the way you smile when you want to scream. It's not gone, it's buried, and it waits, not to torment you, but to be felt. You don't need another motivational quote to push through. You don't need another mantra to plaster over your wounds. You need a mirror, but not the kind that flatters you, the kind that shows your fractures, your distortions, your suppressed truths. This is where shadow work begins, not with fixing, but with remembering, not with pretending to be healed, but with naming what you had to bury just to survive. Because that's what no one told you. Your shadow was born from necessity. It was the armor your child's self had to wear to survive a world that punished sensitivity. When they mocked your tears, you learned to smile. When they feared your anger, you learned to choke it back. When they said you were too much, you learned to shrink, and piece by piece, the wild, honest, expressive version of you got locked away in the name of being loved. Now you wonder why you feel numb, why love feels unsafe, why even in moments of calm, you brace for the next storm. It's because your nervous system is still living in the past, still flinching at shadows, still responding to ghosts. But shadow work isn't about silencing the chaos inside you. It's about listening to it. It's about turning inward, not to fix, but to witness. So how do you begin? Start when you're triggered. Pause before you react. Ask, what memory does this belong to? Who am I becoming right now? Who am I protecting? And then write, not to sound poetic, but to remember. Write to the version of you who had to go quiet, the child who stopped trusting, the teenager who stopped dreaming, the adult who stopped feeling. Ask them, what do you still need from me? And then listen, not like it's a chore. Listen like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. What you call a malfunction in your body, the tight chest, the tense jaw, the sudden shutdown, that's not weakness. That's memory. That's your body remembering what your mind tried to erase. You don't heal by erasing the past. You heal by turning toward it, by sitting with it, by unlearning the shame you wrapped around your truth. And here's the thing most people miss. Your triggers aren't curses. They're maps. Maps to your pain. And deeper than that, maps to your power. The past keeps repeating not because you're cursed, but because it's unresolved. Pain unprocessed becomes a pattern. And patterns don't break with time. They break with presence. This is why you attract the same people in different bodies. Why you freeze in moments when you should speak. Why you self-destruct just when things are getting good. It's not fate. It's a loop. And the loop continues until you stop. Not to fight it, but to feel it. Shadow work keeps asking the same question. What did I abandon in order to survive? Your anger, your softness, your creativity, your sense of wonder, your ability to trust. Whatever it was, it's not gone. It's buried. And what's buried doesn't die. It waits. So start small. Start in the discomfort. In the jealousy you deny. In the judgment you're quick to throw. In the self-sabotage you call. Just being realistic. Every shadow carries a message. Your jealousy might be a dream you've silenced. Your rage might be your boundaries clawing back. Your numbness might be your last shield, around a wound you still can't touch. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the slow alchemy of becoming whole by reclaiming what was disowned. And here's the paradox. Your shadow isn't the enemy. It's the guide. It remembers what your mind forgot. It speaks through your patterns, your dreams, your obsessions. It whispers in the places you avoid. And when you finally listen, not with judgment, but with compassion, something sacred happens. The fragments return. The girl who was silenced finds her voice. The boy who had to be strong learns to feel again. The version of you that had to leave comes home. But don't mistake this for a clean, inspiring journey. It's not always graceful. Sometimes healing looks like breaking down in the middle of a quiet night or feeling grief for the life you never got to live. You will question who you are without your wounds. You will feel like everything is falling apart, and it is. But only the parts of you that were never truly you. And in that space, between what you've outgrown and what you're becoming, you'll find a kind of peace that can't be stolen. Not the peace that comes from pretending. The peace that comes from finally being honest. This is shadow work, not glamorous, not perfect, but sacred. Because when you sit with the parts you once abandoned, when you feel what once felt unbearable, when you reclaim the pieces you were told to hate, you don't become someone new. You return to who you were before the world taught you to hide. And in that return, you rise, not fixed, not flawless, but whole. Welcome home.